zero action, you know. So right now it's recording. All right, so let me greet you. Good morning, class. All right. Okay, you're all welcome once again. Now, this is the formation of the class. After the video has been captured, that is not all. We are going to set up a page, a WhatsApp platform that will engage you and I. So in the course of the week, after you have received your video, any challenge at all you find within your practice at home, you can send those questions on that platform. I will be answering that. Or any of the instructors who will be on it too. Plus, my number too will be there for you to call me. So, but I don't take calls after 8 p.m. All right? Man has to rest. You understand? So please, from day morning to the evening, you can call till 7:59. Then stop calling. All right? Thank you. Now, that is not all. We'll be giving you your project work. And the project work simply means we'll give you a design for a layout, let's say a plan, something we call plan in technical version, and then with a 3D picture at the top. What does it mean? It means that something like this. Okay, but this one do not have a plan, just the perspectives. But the plan will be at the bottom and the 3D itself will be at the top. Something already made. But you are going to fashion your project to have that same result with this program that I'm teaching you. So I may not do exactly what is on your project, but I'll teach you the methods, how to use this CAD software to achieve that purpose. I hope that's clear. All right. So any question, please? All right. So that is why at the end of the 8-week session, you'll be able to present to us a project work. So after the 8 weeks, we'll give you maximum of 1 month to prepare your project, do it, and then present it to the school. All right, before you could have your certificate. But without the certificate, we can't award you. Without your project work, we can't award you a certificate. That's it. All right. So more grease to everyone. All right. Okay. So first time when you open a Revit program, this is what comes on. And this in particular is what we call the welcome screen. Welcome screen. How did I get here? Obviously, when you have the program on your machine, normally we do have a shortcut placed on your desktop, which is Revit 2019. That is the version we use for. But some of your machines cannot get the high quality versions. So try to get to the intermediate one, 2019. All right? Okay. So that shortcut will be placed on your desktop, just like any other icon you see here. All you have to do is to double click on that icon, and then it will start the program. When it starts the program, you see this pop up, and this is what we call the welcome screen. The welcome screen here actually tells us more about what we call the models or projects. Here, we have the models, but it's the same thing for projects. Project. So that means the current work you are doing. These ones are the previous one by default given to the program as a setting. So when you open fresh, those are the ones that were. It's not your project though, but that is a project template given to the screen because at the moment you don't have none done. Then when we come to the bottom part, we have the families. What does it mean? The name looks quite familiar and you'll be using it now. Yeah, so people you are related to, isn't it? All right. So here, families also means components. Component, chairs, tables, anything at all you import into your project to enhance the project, we call them families. All right. And they come to join up to the project you are doing to enhance the project. All right. So we have on our left side of the screen the open new and all of that. Some of you may have open new, then you have architecture template, you have structural template, construction template, and all. Let me see if you have that. Those of you who's on already. Done. What do you have on your screen? That's all? Even you? All of you? All right. Run. Go to run. You see run? Oh. Okay. So, whenever you see this on your welcome screen, this is all it's about. It goes for explaining to you your current project which you have. So those ones which normally falls to the right-hand part is your previous project which you have done. So as you go on doing projects, they will be lining up, showing up here. All right. So those ones you did previously will be ahead. Current ones will be here. Okay. Then your families that you import. So you could see that I've imported this into a project which I've done before. So that's why it's showing up here. All right. So now, since this is a new class, we are starting a new what? Project. Okay. So to start a new project, you click on new. All of us. And now let me say that all instructions given by instructor are to be carried out under 3 seconds. Hence, you delay me. So 3 seconds is better enough. So click on this, you move back. Done, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So we are creating a new project. Do you see this on your screen? Do you see this? Okay. So what it means is that it's telling you that at the moment, the template that we are about to use has been selected to what? Construction template. Is yours the same, please? Yes. All right. And why is it construction? But that is not the only option there if we open up the list. So let's click here at the side to expand the list. What variations of templates do we have in? Construction, architectural, structural, and mechanical. All right. Like we discussed before, these are the various disciplines incorporated into the program to assist engineers to use it for their projects. All right. But since this class is about architectural designing, we will be going in for what? Architectural templates. Templates. All right. Now, what is a template? A template here means the format in which one works in. The format in which one works in, which has all the necessary components to aid for the design. All right. So in the format of architectural templates, we have components which are for architectural designing. You get that sense? Yeah, that is it. So if it's structural, it will be structural component to help the structural engineer to design. Simply is that. All right. So we are using the architectural template, and that is the option we choose. Next one is the create. See, these are creating new project. All right. So that is why the project has been selected. But we also have by its side project template. This will be quite familiar as we go on with our current project, because if I explain now, you may not get it. But in a way, let me give you a gist. Now, when you say a project template, for instance, let's say I have done my project with a previous class, right? And within this project which we did, I did specific settings within that project. All right. But with these settings, when I'm starting a new project, I don't have to start a new one and come and reset all various settings which I've done in the other ones. It will be tiring, like you are repeating yourself. Although as a beginner, I encourage you not to depend on template, but to go one after the other. Practice over and over until you master. When you master, you can set one aside and use it as a template. Why do I say so? Because that one which you have set aside already has the settings in it. You don't have to do resettings and all of that. I hope you get what I mean. But if you are a beginner, don't use a template for now. When you practice how to do your settings within one project, the next time, start afresh so that it will stick here. There's a whole lot on your mind, which we know. Because it didn't take us quite easy time to also know this when we were giving the training. I hope you get that. Because this is a program you are projecting from a CAD software, pushing it into your brain. And you can't get it at once. And things will be fighting it back. It will be leisure, it will be laziness, it will be tiredness, it will be anything. And I don't have time. Yes, it's part of it. It will be a challenge to the program we are studying. So, in that sense, when you are revisiting and repracticing, it encourages your memory to actually correspond with it and understand it a better way. Hope you get that? Mm-hmm. So, we'll be depending more right now on the project, but I'll be showing you how to do the settings so that you would one day, after understanding it, you set your project aside or copy from the previous project and then use the copy as a template. So anytime you are doing a new work, you just go and pick that file, copy it, and then come and delete all the models within it. But the settings are the same. Then you start using it. That is what we call a template. All right? Okay. So on project, we'll go to OK quickly. I hope you have the course outline. Has it been sent to you? No? Okay, so we don't have the platform yet. So we'll send it to you. So you can monitor whatever lesson. These are your lessons I have to teach you so that you monitor me, not to skip any. And I can cheat on you by skipping many. But I'm transparent. I want you to have the same thing. So that when I say something, you also refer to it. All right? Okay. Now, do we have this? All of us?
Yes.
You have the same screen? All right. Now, what does this really mean? This really means you are in your architectural template, organization dashboard. All right. So this is my dashboard. On dashboard, or let's say on a table, we have objects on a table. Plenty of objects. Some are on the top, some are at the middle, some are at the corner side left, some are on my right hand. But some of you don't have your arrangement coming this way. You may have it this way. But that is the default way of arranging the dashboard. But here, the reason why I do mine so is that I need to see everything clearly. I don't have to scroll through one thing and next. When I have to come on this one, I need to go and click on that one before I can change faces or views on the palette. I don't want to do that. So I pick mine right away from that one and plot it here at the corner. That is one. Right, so that I can visit them equally without necessarily going through challenges, switching tabs and all that. Right? To do that is very easy. Now, that is if you want to. If you want to, click on the property name, okay? Click and hold it and drag it to the corner side of your screen. But when you are getting to the corner side, make sure it is your cursor, this one, the point arrow. It is the one that will hit on the side of the screen before you can see the highlight come on. Then release the press and then it will dock it at your right side. So can you do that quickly? Let me see. All right, so if we miss this, sometimes it may be that you close them up and you don't know where to go for them. Now, to go for them again, you have to go to View tab. View tab here. Click on View tab and then come to User Interface over here. Now, you expand the list under User Interface. You can see their names in here, but they are on check at the moment. So the project browser is on check. When you check it, it will then appear. You go to that same spot and go and check for properties, and then it will appear on the screen. All right? So when you miss something on your dashboard, quickly go there to View tab, User Interface, and then over here. Most things which are on your screen are under this section. All right? Okay. Now, let's head straight to what we have on our dashboards. So on this dashboard, we have some list of items at the top. Then also we have some tabs here, and then tools which are placed on panels. And then also we have our project browser and then our properties. First of all, I would like to explain what is here at the top. At this position, we call the quick access bar. Quick access bar. Why is it a quick access bar? The issue is that it has a table that represents various icons or tools that we use, most especially the very frequent ones that we use in our project. So since we don't want to go through some tabs, going to search for them, we plan to place them just at the top here so that quickly we can reach them out whenever we need them. I hope you understand. So for instance, something like the align dimension, it is found here under annotate tab. Then you come here to the dimension panel before you can click on the tool. Why take the stress if you can go here straight and then go for it? You understand? So we created a shortcut for it by right-clicking on the tool itself, say add to quick access toolbar. So whenever you click on that tool will be among this list. All right, so you can do with any other tool at all. All right, when you right-click, you say add to quick access toolbar. So that means you are placing it there because you are fond of using it frequently. Don't quick access everything on it will be full. So it's just some few ones you have to use for that. All right. So I hope your question is answered. Okay.
So,
yes, sir.
Sorry. Normally, in a lecture, we need to take notes.
Yes.
You are saying that as lectures are going on, you will have a video, so we don't need to take much notes.
Yes. I won't say don't take, but the issue here is take it fast, because there will be instances where I will need you to play an exercise on your screen. All right. So taking notes is allowed, so long as you can do it fast without interfering your own process. And the videos will be captured together with my vocal and everything. But maybe at that point, there is a clear understanding to what you have imagined in mind, which is not the same as I'm doing. So you have to jot them down. Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you too. All right. So that is for quick access bar. So we have these tools we normally or often use at that spot. That's why we go in for them. We station them at the top here, called the quick access toolbar. Then underneath the quick access toolbar, we have this architecture, structure, steel, systems, insert, annotate. These are all what we call the tabs. T-A-B-S, tabs. Tabs. And within every tab, there are a series of panels and tools within it. So for instance, if I should click on architecture tab, you see that these are what we call the panels, the name that falls under the group of items or group of tools. So this is which panel is this? The build panel. And then we'll go to circulation panel, and we'll go to model panel, and then room and area, opening, datum, and work plane. So these are all panels. But on top of the panels, we have what? Tools. Okay, tools. A tool like the wall, a tool like the door window component, column, roof, ceiling, floor, and all that. Okay, so they have been grouped together under one title called what? The build panel. And then when you go to the next panel, we have the railing, ramp, and stair, which is for circulation what? Panel. I hope you get the understanding here. So the list continues that same way, right? So the same way when you go to structure tab, you can see various panels under structure tab, which also on these panels, we have various tools. Clear? That's it. All right. So the list continues, but we'll get to know some of these things as we go. All right. Now, let me come in with this, especially on the aspect called the structure. You know, when we started, we chose on architectural template. we also have within that template, or among that template, the structural template, isn't it? So why is a structure tab appearing within an architectural template? Now, do you get a question? Because we chose architectural templates. So that means to give us tools, panels about architecture, designing, isn't it? But here, in that same template, we have what we call the structure also within it. Does it make sense? No. Does it contradict? No. The truth here is that, when you are doing your architectural design, you may need structural elements to place them in your layout as indications. You get that? So that is why it has been infused partly into your architectural template. So that if you have the need for installing columns within your design, you can pick a column from structure and then place them. Beam can do that. Some other component. I hope you get that. So that's simply what it means. It doesn't mean that the software is wrong or it has been done wrongly. No. But this is the reason why they did it now. So that you don't have to move from one template to the next, go and invite component. All right. Now that is it. So these are what we call the tabs. These are what we call the panels, the name under the frame component. And then on top of the panels, we do have the tools. But if you watch carefully, the panels have their demarcations. You see that it moves a line work here to this line work, which is headed by what? Build. From this line work to this line work, headed by what? Circulation, and that is it. So if you watch carefully, that is what they are. Okay. Now, one thing about these things we are discussing, especially the tools, is that when you put your pointer or cursor, so when I say cursor, it means your arrow, your pointer. All right, technically, this is what we call it, cursor here. Call it cursor. Even in AutoCAD, call it cursor. Or crosshair. Crosshair. Right. When you place your cursor here, you can see that it will tell you a tip about the tool. So we call this idea tool tip. Tool tip. So this is a tool tip about wall. It tells you that this is a wall with a shortcut WA. And then it tells you that it creates a non-structural wall in a building model. Uses the type selector to specify the type of wall to create. Or use the default type to create a generic wall and specify a different wall type later. You see that? So it tells you more about the reference of the wall, how to use it as well. All right. So anytime you move on a certain tool, try and hold on to it and see the explanation that comes afterwards. Clear? All right. Let's continue. So that is about the tab, the panel, and then what? The tools. Now, when you come here under modify, we have some elements too that we'll talk about but later on. All right. Now, over here on our left side, we have our project browser. We all have our project browser straight on our screen. Yeah. The top here. What name here? Aha. So when I say project browser, I'm simply referring to the name on top of this one. Okay. So please pay attention to them. They are your right information. Now we have the project browser on our left, then we have the properties on our right. That's okay. Now to explain what a project browser means. In AutoCAD, we were using a command called the Project Navigator. Project Navigator actually helps you to access and then plan the way you want to make your design. Whether it has to be a single story or a double story, you go within that to do the settings. So you navigate. Navigate means move 1, 2, 3, doing settings. And when you are done, come to your model space and come and draw. But here, we have what we call the project browser with already the plan information, everything formed. All you have to do is to just go to them, change them to what you specify them to be, and then it will remain the same. All right? So on the project browser, we have topics like the floor plans, the ceiling plans, the 3D views, elevations, legends, schedule and quantities, sheets, families, groups, and Revit links. If I miss one, tell me. Or if yours doesn't appear the same, call my attention.
Why doesn't appear the same? Are you truly?
The 3D views doesn't appear there.
Now, select navigation,
Okay.
Sheets, families,
All right. So, what it simply means is that, do you have this icon here called default 3D view? Here, on the quick access bar. There's a small house there on top.
Yes.
You have it?
Yes.
Click on it. All of you. Please, are we there? What do you see? The same thing on my screen? All right. So, when this thing shows up, check whether you have it there amongst the project browser. Check it out.
Yes.
It's there. Thank you very much. So what it simply means is that it hasn't been activated to have a representation over there. So when you don't see it, this is what you have to do. Go to the default, click on it, and 3D will actually come on that project browser. Yes, please. Okay. All right, so we are going back. Okay, I just closed the tab. What I did is I closed the tab, this one, I closed it. All right, just to come back here. All right, are we here?
Yeah.
Nice. So quickly, we have seen what is on our project browser. Now the properties. The properties obviously has a whole lot of lists. But one beautiful thing about properties is that I would like to explain on the board. The properties palette plus the project browser are the most essential palettes one can use in Revit program. Why am I saying that? Because without them on your board, working with Revit will be quite challenging. Why? Because they all depend on these two palettes. Everything about your project depends on these two palettes called the project browser and what? The properties. But I'm talking more about the properties since you have already discussed quite a few about project browser. Now, the properties. It sounds so nice to say properties. Why? Because it tells you more about a component. For instance, the properties about yourself. And it means your character comes in, your image, complexion, the things you like and all that. These are your properties. So when you pick a wall, for instance, then this palette is what we call a diagnose center. Diagnose. You're always right. I'm not the diagnose center. So it will diagnose whatever things about that thing you have selected and give information about it. So if I pick a wall, the properties palette is able to tell me the characteristics of that wall, what it the height is all about, the color or texture, the pattern that holds to it, and all that. So it explains the component to you. And this is what you are choosing to use now. So this is all about. So using the properties palette is one of the key elements of using Revit program because it will help you to make changes. So this is where we apply most of the parameters that will affect the model we are coming to. So if I need a wall to go 3000 high, I will choose the wall, come here to the properties and change the parameters on it. Then that wall will be affected by the parameters I've set. Simple. So tell me, if you don't have it, how will you get your wall to change? Difficult. Yes. And also, if you do not have your project browser, where would you locate your floor plans? See them. So always have these two on board. But that is what you are going to use to do your project. All right? Thank you very much. So that is it. Properties is all about diagnose. Diagnose a center tells you the main thing about characteristics of an object in first. Okay, now let's go on. Yes, sir.
Does the river have a tutorial?
Tutorial. Yes, we have a site for tutorial. It's best you seek it. Autodesk Center. Yes, on YouTube. So when you see that, they have a not entirely, but these are tutorials, various variety of tutorials. It depends on what you are searching for. So you just go to the search button, type in what you want, and then those videos, tutorials about that command will show up. All right? Okay. All right. So even here on the welcome screen, normally, where is that? So here, you see, you get to know what's new with this program, essential skill videos and getting started videos and all that. So these are guides that will tell you more about the program. All right, under here, learn. Okay, and we have like new. Correct. Okay. So, like I'm saying, you have sites that you can also visit, which would give you tutorials about the program. All right. So we'll talk more on that. I'll show you where to go for that. Now, where are we? Okay. Now, what we'll do now is we have explained the project browser and properties. Now let's talk about the model space. The model space. What is the model space? The center or your screen where you draw. That is where you do your modeling. So we call it the model space. Right? Now, these four views you see here are what we call the elevation marks. Elevation marks. Ahmed, you see? And on this elevation marks, it is responsible of revealing to us under elevation the four cardinals. All right? So if you go to your elevation right now under your project browser, can you expand it? Okay, so go to the plus sign beside elevation and expand it by clicking on it.
Not that.
Yeah, it's not that again. But it was calling your attention. Okay. All right, are we there? Are we there? All right, so when you click to elevations, then you have what we call the east, north, south, and west, which is four cardinals representing on your model space as well. So it means that any one of these represents something here. So the way of arrangement is that here at the front, here, that is what we call the south. So this is for this one. And here at the back, that is what we call the north. It's for the back. And then your right side will be for the east, which is this. Then your left will go for what? The west. That is it. All right? That is it. So that explains the elevation marks. Now, when we are modeling or starting our project, it is quite useful that everything that we draw should be drawn within these four arcs. All right? So that we will have the view to the model that we have placed into our model space or the layout, so that we can see all the sides of the layout that we have done or drawn. Is that clear, please? Because if you don't do that, means you can't see what you have done. So for instance, if I should do something like this, I'm just doing and I want to view to it. Because I've drawn it within the 4 cardinals, anytime I click on any part of these cardinals, I'm giving a view to see on that element. Quite obvious. Let me pull my level back. All right. Good. So this is a tall wall like that. This is a wall. When I come to the north, this is another wall too. Right. So the wall is that tall. That is why we are looking at it that way. Okay. Nice. And then I'll go to south, double click on it. Everything on the project browser should be double clicked. Okay. So double click on that to open it. That's it. So if you should have also done the same, going to, let's say on your screen, just hit on a wall, click on wall quickly. All of us. And at 3 seconds done. Now, when you click on wall, this will show up. This thing called draw shows up, right? Now, pick rectangular shape. That is the second one on the tool. Now, what you will do is you click 1 point up. Don't click and hold or press still. Click and release. And then drag your mouse for an extension. Don't be too far from your screen. If you are drawing, you may think this is small, but that is big. So make sure you zoom in closely. Do you have a screw on your mouse? It's obvious. Okay. So when you go forward, it means you are going in. When you pull back, you are getting out. So please make sure you pull in. You pull in so that you can see your wall big. That much, so that when you draw, it can start to make sense. All right? Okay. So what you would do is that you would click 1 point up and drag it to the other opposite end and click to install it. That's all. I'll do it again. I'm clicking here. Then I'll release my hand from my mouse and just drag the mouse down. It will give me a shape, rectangular shape or a square one. And I'll click down here to install it, and then I'll escape. That's it. So escape twice, come out of command, and that is it. All right, so we'll go to our elevations and then go to east, double click on it. What do you see? The projection of that wall you've drawn, right? Is that right? I need your feedback, please.
Yes.
Okay. So do same to the various cardinals. That's cool. You can't see yours? You are lost. All right, I'm coming. Now, if you are lost, it's better to go home. All right? What I mean home means you have to come here to floor plans. Are you there on the project browser? Yes. And please double click on the level that you see, the first one. Yours may be level 1. It may not be the same as mine. So double click on that, and then you can have your flat 2D surface again. Is that right? Okay, so you are here right now. Did you draw your wall? Okay, I'm coming.
Sir, please have a question.
Yes, please.
You see, when you want to draw with AutoCAD, you have to Matrix or Imperial.
Good.
Okay, and you have to set it. You have to set it by putting it into meters or feet or inches, something like that. Okay. So coming to Revit, when you want to start drawing, I don't know if here you have to draw with lines like the other ones, because with AutoCAD you use lines to draw. I don't know about that one.
All right.
Right. So I don't know if you have to set if it's you are using inches to draw, millimeters, feet, comparing to this one. I want to.
Thank you. That's a very brilliant question. So, like he said, in AutoCAD, whenever you are starting a project, you have to do what we call the MV setup. MV setup helps you to do the right settings, set the units, measurement, metrics, Imperial, any other ones that you want to do. So you choose them before you start the project. so that what you are choosing or the settings you are doing will be a template to that thing you are coming to do. I hope you get what I mean now. So if you choose metric, then metric will be the template in which you are going to draw your project. If you choose imperial, then imperial will be feet and inches, right? With Revit 2 is the same. But as we are going on, we'll get there. So that one we call the unit format or unit settings. We'll go there and then we'll indicate what settings we have to input into our project. All right. Thank you. All right. So having explored the views. So if, for instance, one of these views I have has been selected or deleted, you see that one will go out from among the four, isn't it? Telling you that what? One is missing. So if I need to see my front, since I don't have, I can't see. You see? So that's why it's always important to draw within them. All right? Okay. I'll show you how to bring it back, but not now. Yes, and I will be very frequent of deleting them. So if you delete them, I've not shown you, so how do you bring it back? I don't know. Don't delete them. All right. So what I'll do right now is that I'll clean my board for now. I'll just do a selection over the objects I've drawn. How to do a selection? You pick one point, click and press, and drag over the object. When they are entirely covered, then you release your hand from the mouse. They will be selected, and then you go for this red button here called delete, and then you click on it. They'll be deleted. All right. Now let's go on. Now, we'll be talking more about the components that we have to use to draw, especially what we call wall. But before we come here, let us quickly visit how to set the project units. Project units. In the project unit, over here, we can find it under the Manage tab. Let's go there quickly. In the Manage tab, you go to the Settings. Manage tab. All right. And then we'll scroll down to Settings panel. Settings panel. So you have to be familiar with the terminology. The access which will lead us to get here is what we call the tab. Under that tab, we have panels. On top of the panels, we have tools. Is that right? Okay. So come to Settings panel, and then we go in for the project unit. So sometimes yours may come in like this, isn't it? You may not see the name underneath, right? So what you will do is that, like I taught you, use your tooltip actually to station on top of them until you see the name you are looking out for. You get it?
Yes.
Do you get it? Oh, I'm talking to you, please.
Yes.
All right. So when you see that, click on it. All right. So if you click on that, here we have what? The project unit. In this project unit, we have discipline that actually regulates how the unit measurement or format will appear. For instance, since it is uncommon, then it means every other thing here has been selected to architectural measurements, in a sense that it is measured in millimeters, centimeters, and all other meters, right? So that is for common. If you open the list, you can see that we have discipline for what? Structure. In a structural discipline, there are these unit measurements they come with in their own format. It looks quite changing from this one. So what we had previously is not the same as this one. Do you regard that? But this is calculated under force, area, moment, and all the stress and all that. They have their weight measurement for their formats. If you go for the HVAC, this is also their format. All right? But since we are using the millimeters for architectural drawing, we go for the common discipline, which will give us the issue of imperial and the metric. Is that clear, please? So we'll go into the length. Let's click on the length over here, because we'll be drawing in length, isn't it? Our walls will be drawn in length, the room sizes and all. So click under length, go to the length format, click on it. So we'll go to the format. Now the format here gives us or show us what it is to see the feet and the inches. We have the millimeters, we have the centimeters, we have decimeters and all. So it depends where or what type of format you want to use for your project, all right, your unit. But here we are using the millimeters, which is the mm, all right. So in here, you can have tendency of choosing the meters and any other one you want to choose for your project that you are coming to do. I hope you get what I mean.
Inches.
Yes?
Inches.
Fraction and inches, feet and fraction. That's, so if you are...
I'm more used to inches than
oh, fine, that's okay. That's okay, but they work the same. You can have a dual measurement, both for metric and then the feet and inches displaying, but get in mind that it will take a lot of space because one will be on top, one will be at the bottom. You understand? But sometimes artisans, most of them are not really conversant with the conversion of units.
Yeah.
If they are stuck to one thing, they are stuck to one thing. And major masons I know really does with feet than mm confuses them. But it's quite same. The thing is represented on the same tape they are using. But because their understanding hasn't been developed to that, they see it as a challenge. You understand? Yeah. So that's why I said everything should be questioned. If you question, you get to know. Okay, so this is it. We are choosing on for this project. Okay, and then would the rounding will be 0 decimal place. What does that mean? So it means that sometimes when you take a measurement, let's say 2000, it will give you 2000.00000, like the 0 plus. If I don't need any of the zeros to come on, I would say 0 decimal place. So it means it will only be 2000 and so on. All right? Okay, now the unit symbol under none, when you expand it, you see the none and mm over there. The mm, if you choose it, means anytime you pick a measurement, will come at the tail part. So 2000 150 it will cluster space, you know, and you don't have to do that. So normally we'll say none to that so that we'll have it more fitting up everywhere. Okay. And now suppress trailing zeros. This option is quite good if we are using unit measurement that actually comes with the zeros. Maybe you have already done that and you don't have to one after the other come and then change them or spread them. You just have to come and click on that option. Suppress trailing zeros and all the zeros will go. Really. All right, so you click on suppress trailing zeros. So for instance, if let's say we didn't press on anything yet, but we are picking a measurement. So for instance, let me go for wall. And then what do you see? 5,000 what? 0.0, yes. So if I select it right now, this is how it will appear to me, 5,000.0. So there's still a 0 doing what? Coming up, right? So if I go back to my unit measurement and I go to my length and then change this, and I will click on suppress trailing what? Zeros. What do you see?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so that is it. Oh. Let me go back. Now, the shortcut for unit project unit is UN. UN, United Nations. Some may call it. So we are still in the format. So make sure you suppress trailing zeros, and that is it. Any question here? No, let's go. All right. So I'll click on OK. And then I'll go to OK. Yeah, perfect. We are here, isn't it? Are we back? Now you can see here to the unit measurement. The project unit over here, underneath here. 1 is to what? 100. So every step you take is measured in what? 100. That is what it means. 1 is to 100. So when I took a step, it is 100 measurements. Another step, 100. Another step, 100. Okay? So 1 step, 2 steps ahead, this will be 200. Another step attached, 300, 400. So that's what it means. 1 is to 100. So if you say 1 is to 500, it means every step you take is calculated in what? 500 distance. All right. That is about unit measurement or project unit. Now, we are coming up with a reference of setting our project. So you see what we are going through. It is because I'm explaining. That's why we are taking time to see the overview of all these elements. But if you are starting a project, getting straight to my command, when you open these things up, the next thing you have to do is to go and select your levels and set them up. Why levels? I'm taking time here so that we'll not come back here again, because these are the most essential things you have to understand before you undertake a project. All right, so 1, when you open up your project, first thing you need to tackle is your level, because your level helps you to prepare your floors. So these levels we are coming to set is the same element helping us to achieve the preparation for our floor plans, or let me say floor plans. Let's understand. Okay, so the levels aid you to set what? Your floor plans. Period. So that is why it is more essential for you to go to your levels and then do the necessary settings or changes before you start your project. Now, this is how they appear. You can find the levels under elevation, any of the cardinal points. So go to elevations, that is levels, and to any of the cardinal points could be north, it could be south, it could be east, it could be west. Right. Okay. So you double click into any one of them, and the next thing you will see is a long stretch line, even line, with a bubble at the end. And on top of every level of the line, we have a label here for the floor, and then the parameter, a height parameter for, so you get another label here with the height parameter of 4,000. Is that right? So double click into any of these cardinal sections and you see these lines. And check their parameters, label and then height parameters. Let's see that. All right, wait 3 seconds. Good, let's go. Done. Should be done by now. And just double click on that thing. 3 seconds. You are done. All right. Now, we call this level at this time. And it is so because when you apply the same application here to the natural world. Right now, where we are, this is a physical world, this is a digital world, this is a physical world. You apply this same scenario here, okay? You could see that this is true. Why? Because on this surface we are all seated on, it's a level. Is that so? And on this height on which the roof sits on is also a level. All right? So, in order for you to achieve your various design at their prospect places, you need to draw them on their various levels, which also in turn takes you to their floors. Period. So when you go to the levels, you are on the floor. I repeat, whenever you go to the level, you are on the floor. For instance, what do you call the last one, the bottom one, the one you see on your screen? What do you call it? What name do you have on it? Level 1, thank you. So I'm double clicking to any one of these. So this is it. But obviously my template became level 0. It's the same thing. Since that is 1 at the bottom, doesn't matter. All right? It's just a label. Okay. So now the one at the bottom here is what we call the base level, and then this is the top level, isn't it? All right. The same thing I've done here. But when you watch closely, you can see that we have the level 0 being the label for this level, and then the 0 parameter being the height for this level. Clear? No. Next. No. What I mean is, this line, as you see it, the name for this line is what we call this, as its name. And its height is what you are seeing now. That's what it is, right? The same thing applies to this. Its name, its height. That's why it is moved away from this. So what is the height of this parent? 1,000 distance away from this point. How we know what it means. So it means that when you draw here and you go and draw on top of this one, those ones which are on top here are 4 meters away from this parent. So if I intend to do a multi-story, means that I can draw my room, some of my rooms here, can draw one here, which will station it on top of each other in a distance. So before you are done, you're doing your complete model as a story building. Just drawing them on their various figures. So this is what we call parametric design, right? Everything works within parametric instances. So you have to check the height for something, bring it down, change the width and all, expansion and all. It goes down. Okay. So now, the next thing we will do here is that we are going to define or redefine the labels which are on the levels. If in case we have to increase or add more levels to it, we will do that. Okay, so the tool is not constraining you from adding one on top. You can add as much as you want to it. Okay? But since this is a default setting, it only came by 2. Alright? So I will advise you, since you are coming to use this program for your project, it is always good. Normally in architectural field, it's always good for one to have a sketch, a layout on a paper, sheet of paper down there, yes, to serve as a guide. Before you can even understand that, okay, I'm going in for such levels to complete such projects. So in case I'm doing a multi-story, let's say 1 or 2, it means this is a single story. This structure we are living in is a single story. It doesn't have one on top. So a double story would actually need us to add a level to this 2, right? So if a single story will be the base, which is the room, and this will be the roof. If in this design we are doing a double story, then this will be the ground floor, this will be the first floor, and this will be the roof, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you have your sketch, then your sketch actually guides you to what level you have to set for that one, isn't it? Okay. So we'll do that by just clicking to the label. Double click on the label part. Use your pointer to double click right now. Under 3 seconds, double click into the label. Does it highlight? Yes. Shouldn't miss it, I know. Double click. You don't know how to do it. All right. So what you do is that come to the label itself, and double click on it. 1, 2. That is it. It will highlight its name. Is that right? Okay. Now we are coming to redefine the name for that level. In my project that I'm about to do, I'm not doing a single story, I'm doing a multi-story. So that could be 2 or more, right? So I would give this title ground floor plan, right? So I'll go for that. Ground floor plan. There you go. And then when I'm done, I'll just click out and then this will pop up. Now, all of you get there before I continue. Quick. So let me give you 10 seconds to do that. Yes, in elevation, double click into the label. You've done that. And then have you typed the name ground floor plan? You have the same thing. Let's wait for the rest. Are you there too? You can't go out. If you have the same thing, just pause there. Yeah, I'll tell you more about that. Yes? Ima, will you remind yourself to bring a mouse next time? I mean, with a cable, the one with the cable tray. So this one will not stop, will not punish you again. I wanted us all to patch up with that, and then I don't have to leave someone behind. And so if I tell you can do something I'm doing, don't doubt. Are we there? Are we there? Oh, it's just you coming into elevation. Double click into any one of these cardinal points to see the lines. That is the first thing. Have you? Double click into any one of these. So, do you see this there? See, this one, elevation, on your project browser. Okay, hold on. Come. Yeah. The guy checks me off. All right. Can we? No, not yet. If you are having the same screen I have here right now, that is where I need you to be. No, so after you have typed in the name, just click any of the empty space. Have you? It pops up. Right. Same. No. Okay. Double click into the down level here. Zoom out. Out. Yeah, there. So you're moving zoom in. You double click on that. Then you write ground floor. And they should be caps, upper cases. In architecture, we don't use lower cases, except for instance. If you come here with your project with lower cases, I'll slash your project all with the red pen and send you back. You can't send that in the same. They will query you. How do you do that? Even here, I'll query you before you get there. My guy, you are a good man. Are you not a Nigerian? No, your accent is more like a Nigerian. Oh, yeah. Ewe is Nigerians.
I have a French accent.
French rather.
I have a French accent, but.
Well, that's why. Okay, I could determine some things about. So have you been? Cote d'Ivoire?
Yeah.
I know. All right. So after you are done, click on an empty space. You need my attention.
Activation.
But you're there for yet. How come you're coming back?
Say again. Oh yes.
I'm sure. Just shut on.
No. It's not 2 days to go.
I need to save before.
Yes.
So it's. I tell you guys, who is assisting you, Mr. Ahmed? No.
No,
No, I mean the one taking coverage today. No one came. I said I'll come there, so give me about 20 minutes past. I'm coming there. Sorry. All right. Now, let me do something quickly, and then I'll go to see them, and then I'll come back to you. Right. So, having come here, do you have the same thing, please?
Yes.
Now, what this means is that it is asking you, would you like to rename? You don't have this one. So what's that? So quickly do that. All right. So since we are all having the same thing, now this is what it means. It says, would you like to rename corresponding views? What does it mean, corresponding? How do you get that? Corresponding means maybe transfers one idea to another annex, right? And so if it's a corresponding, where is the correspondency then? Now the correspondency falls to the floor plans we have here. You see this level 0? Is it not the same as the one that we changed right now? Yeah. So that is the correspondency between them. Like I told you, every level you see in your equation represents a floor plan. Is that clear? All right, so if you happen to affect a change to this, it will ask you, would you like to rename the corresponding view? So does it mean that if you want to apply the same name to replace this one? That is the question. If you say yes, it will represent that same name you have affected. If you say no, it will retain this and keep this the same way. All right? But always, when we are setting the floor plans through our levels, we say yes. Right? So say yes to that. Say yes to that. And tell me what you see. It has changed. Okay. Now, let's change the second one to a first floor.
Sorry.
Yes.
Mine was level 1 when I think it's now ground floor, ground zone, and then level 2.
That's fine. We are still changing them, so don't worry. All right. So please double click into this one and then also rename it to first floor plan. Okay. Here we change the label to what? First floor option. STPLAN. All right. Now, and then what did you do? You click empty space to get this. And what did you choose after?
Yes.
You said yes to it. And then you saw it here, right? Now, don't you think there is a situation here we have to consider? Watch carefully. Which one, these two, which one comes first? The ground floor plan, thank you. And then which one is next? The first. Okay. Is it the same arrangement here?
No.
Okay. So you could see that there is a misarrangement over here. Obviously, we are to have the arrangement following after this pattern, right? But when it gets here, it changes. Why did it change? It changed because,
We're starting from the beach.
No, you're almost there. Okay, later. Yeah.
Looking at the project rather, it's starting from the site.
Site. No. Oh, okay. So that is where you are coming from.
So that's the
Okay.
reason why it is arranging from that.
Oh, well, I get you. Okay. But is that the answer? No. Next, someone should try. Yes.
What is the first floor? I mean, you have not really considered it.
It started with the first, rather. But you know, if you are arranging sheets, you start from the top,
Yes.
coming down, right? But your top doesn't come down. It is the later sheet that you prepare, which follows up after the first one. Is that right? So they rather should go down there, all right? So it means that in this arrangement, when it gets to the sheet arrangement, it has changed. But we need to maintain it that way as it is. So this is what we'll do. Instead of us typing just the name to represent here, Revit arranges them in alphabetical order. That is the reason why. F comes before G, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is why the G rather has gone down and F is up. So for us to make sure that they are arranged the same way it is over here, we are going to lock the labels, double click into the label, and come to the head part of it and use a number to lock it up. So 01, space bar, ground floor plan, and then you say yes. Then you go to the next one, 02. Are you following, please?
Yeah.
So I'll click into where the head is highlighted, and then scroll back and use 02 space bar and click. Thank you, Anne. All right. And then say that. So what do you see here? Check back again. It has been arranged the same way I want them to appear. Exactly. All right. So this is why I need to be in school, to be taught. Else you'll be finding challenges. Right. So having done this, is it the same on yours? If yours is not the same, let me know. Maybe I'm deceiving you. Huh? They are not done. That's why they are not answering.
Yeah, it's no.
Is that?
Yeah, but okay. Because the one in mine, it appears and also it goes also down to the ceiling plan.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the ceiling plan here also means something we can explain later. It's the same arrangement as you have on your floor. Now, check this out. This is a room, right? This room we have created represents our floor plan, right? So if we should have a ceiling for this room, should it not be in the same floor plan room? That's all. So every ceiling you see here represents the floor plan, room ceiling, and so on. All right? Okay. So that is it. We arrange this with a numerical lock so that they will arrange them systematically for us. Although it doesn't change, the numbers do not change anything here. It's rather change something here that we want to have right. Okay? All right. Now, how about the height? Our normal height we set for a wall is 3,000. 3,000. So what do? We'll double click into the value option here. All right. And change the 4,000 to what? 3,000. And enter. That's all. Do we have the same results?
Yes.
Thank you.
This, are you still in the units?
Elevation. Yes.
I mean, the 3,000 we were talking about, and the
Mm. Yes. Because we changed the unit from fractional and imperial to metric, millimeters. That is why we are having this measurements.
So if I may understand, the imperial is in
Feet and fraction.
and the metric is
Millimeters.
millimeters.
But we also have meters within it. You know, metric have meters, centimeters, and all. That's why you see meters at the end.
Yeah.
So if it is feet and fraction. All right? Okay. Now, like I told you, I'm doing my project a double story. So I'll add one level on top of this in order to be my roof. Because I only have my ground floor, my first floor. I don't have my roof level. Right? So we need to create a level here to bring it as a roof. Is that right? Yes, please.
Sorry, I didn't get it. How we managed to get it right now?
Oh, okay. What we did is that we double click into the value section. Previously, it was 4,000. So double click into it and change the 4,000 to 3,000. And then you enter. Click on an empty space. Ima, can you help him, assist him?
So anytime you make a mistake, you go to escape and you take it back to you.
Okay, if you make a mistake, you go to this tool here called undo. Just once, so that it will track your station or your process. As you come?
No, it's okay.
It's okay. All right. Now, so what we'll do is that we'll go to architecture tab, all of us. Let's navigate right away. So to do a new level or to create a new level, go to architecture tab. Process number 1. And then navigate to datum panel. Datum panel. Number 2.
Sir,
Yes, please.
I'm not very sure
I'm coming.
we should click on the architecture.
Architecture tab, and then come to datum panel, and then you see level on top of the panel. Right? Click on it. When you see this, do you have this? Save a project?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's save the project. So now it means all that we were doing has not been saved. So let's say save the project. Click on that. And then direct it to the folder you want to save into. So I'm taking this to my documents. All right. Or let me say desktop. I'll go to desktop. And then I'll write my file name. What name do I want to give it? April class 23. That is it. That is all. Then you save it. Good? All right. So we are still in command, right? Okay. When you are in command, first thing you need to watch out, whether you are in command, is to see what is on the properties, what is showing currently. What do you have showing there? Level. So that means that is the tool you have activated now. So to install the level, come to where the bubble head is. Yours may be on the right, mine is on the left. It could be. It doesn't matter, because we can all be on the same page after. So let's do this for once. So get to where the bubble head is. You see a snap line snapping you into correspondence with the existing ones. Is that right?
Yes.
A snap line means the dashed line you see there. Does it track you? Okay, so click once and release and move. Just drag your mouse. Don't press. Just move to the tail part of the line. It will track you at the end part too. Are we getting the same results?
What level?
Oh no, don't determine the level here. Just click somewhere and move. All right. And then make sure you snap this new line into the existing ones. Escape twice.
That's good. Twice.
Yes. All right. Now, on various levels, you don't have it? Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Did you click the second part? You didn't click. See. Watch. All of you watch, please. Are we here? Don't do anything, just watch. All right. I'm just picking the level right now. And when I come to where the bubble is, I'll just snap with a snap line. Click my first point and move to the tail part of the level line and click. Before I will escape twice. That's all.
So the calculation.
Now, I think they just prompt me that this very one, the elbow issue, just escaped them. So I would like to go over that again. All right. So if you have a level maybe you just did this, you don't know why. What it simply means is that it's called the elbow. It helps you to move the bubble head away from other bubble heads which are getting into each other. All right. So you select and hold where the elbow falls to, and then you can drag top and down to reposition it, or perhaps get it away from an existing one which interferes. How to replace it back is to pick the elbow point and come into straight line like this and release your mouse. That should do it. All right. Okay. And then the parameter height. Parameter height actually takes reference from the 0 point. Where you see your ground floor plan, the parameter height is what? 0. So that is always the reference point. So 0 to this distance is 3,000. 0 to this distance is 6,000. Because if you pick the dimension tool right now and you pick the first level point, the last point, it gives you exactly the same distance. All right. So as you go on the various levels, when you select one level up, it tells you with a temporary dimension that the room levels are at 3,000 each. So if this one is, let's say, 7,000, it will indicate to you that that level up there is 4,000 distance when you select. You see that? And also you can change the, not to confuse you, but since I want to keep the level here 3,000, I'm not changing this to 6,000. See what I'll do. After I've selected that level, I'll just say to the temporary dimension, click into it and type 3,000. So that it will give me a reference of 3,000 from here to here alone. So it's not counting to this bottom part. You see that? Yeah. All right. So that is it. So this is how you set the levels and the height parameters. That's it. So having understood this, any question, please? No. All right. So this is what we'll do. We'll keep a pause on over here, and then I would like you to go home, practice eventually how we have migrated with all the settings and processes. Start the same thing with your project, because your project will be sent to you at the course of the day. Since you leave down your WhatsApp lines plus your names and all that, okay, that will have you send the 3D pictures and any other thing. Should that meet? And then you have your various designs. Yeah? Sometimes too, when the designer comes, you do not have dimensions on them entirely. So it will be more good for you to improvise dimensions. But I will send you a charter by which you can use dimension within that to demarcate your room sizes and your layout. I hope you get that. And so all these things will be sent to you as the day goes by. So I'll take Imaka. Go ahead. Yes, let's talk about that. So now, you see some of you have your bubble heads on the other ends. Tell this lady to give you a sheet and a pen so that the class write their name and their WhatsApp numbers on that. Okay. All right, so let's see, we have a bubble head appearing here. These are your trouble, right? All right, so how do I get them on the same line or arrangement? What you do is select that level. When you select the level, there is a check behind the bubble head, a checkbox. If I uncheck that box, the bubble there will go off. And where I do not have the bubble head, still having the checkbox appear, I'll check into that box. It will reveal the bubble head for me. Is that very simple?
Yeah.
It is. It is what it is. You know. All right. So guys, thank you very much. Any more questions? She didn't give you a pen. Okay, please. Your names and WhatsApp lines. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very Thank you very much. And Hopefully next week, we'll be hitting straight to call. All right. So today is for introduction. Next week, we are on project. All right. So please, let's communicate throughout the week so that we'll have everyone on the same settings. Then when we come here, no one is left behind. All right. If you don't receive your project work, please call my attention before next week comes. Because it shouldn't be next week that you are telling me about your project work. You'll be left behind. Is that right? Okay. Thank you. So I stop recording since you don't have any questions. Thank you very much.